it can feel like a never-ending cycle of past due bills, high interest rates, and even collection calls. You want a way out, but most companies only deal with certain kinds of debt or offer quick fixes and even dangerous solutions that can destroy your credit and put you right back where you started. At Family Credit Management, we do things differently. First, we'll review your credit report to access who and what you owe. Then, we'll create a repayment plan that's in budget, lowers interest, and eliminates fees. We'll give you a roadmap out of debt once and for all by consolidating all your unsecured debt from all your creditors in our debt management program. You pay us once a month, and we work with your creditors to take care of the rest. For over 20 years, we've been helping clients get back on track to financial independence. Now it's your turn. Get your free quote today.
Hey, this is Tish Griffin here with Family Credit Management, and I am coming to you just to talk to you about finances, debt, all types of questions that you have regarding finances, and your individual situation is different from everyone else's. So it's always great to find advice or find those resources that are out there to help you. And that is why I am here. So we touch a lot on different aspects of financing and on making sure that you are credit savvy, credit ready. But it's like, it's different when you actually sit down and delve down into your finances, because it's one thing to hear it, but when you actually start looking at it and seeing what you're dealing with, it's different. It's an eye opener for you. It can be confusing, it can be overwhelming, frustrating. And the key for it, though, is to not stress you out. So today we're going to touch on a lot of aspects of finances and how they relate to you and how you can work on debt-free living. That is just really the important thing that I want you to know, that you can be and live debt-free. So before we dive into it, I just want you to know that Family Credit is a resource that is available to help you with those situations. A lot of times you may not like dealing with creditors or dealing with your bills or your debt, but just know that Family Credit is there. The website is familycredit.org, and they are counselors always on standby to answer your questions, to help you with your finances, and to help you take control of your debt. Again, the website is familycredit.org. You can also call them at 800-994-3328. And we're going to touch a little bit on what it's like, or your step-to-step guide for financial freedom. Right now it is holiday season though, so we know everyone is thinking about the holidays, about Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, all of those exciting times in our lives. Instead of focusing on our budget or how much money we make, those are things that we deal with every day. So a lot of times we don't want to get into that, but this is the perfect time for you to actually be thinking about getting things together, especially for next year. When we think about our finances, it's not just those bills that come in. It's so all-encompassing of our overall whole picture. It is the money that we make, what we bring in, what we spend, the way we live, of course our credit score, dealing with the creditors, dealing with collection agencies and financing, and once we get through all of that, hopefully opening the door to investments, to being able to make your money work for you. And that's what's so key. But in order for us to get there, we have to cross a few of our credit hurdles to get there. And the first thing just starts by making sure that you have your finances under control and that your credit score is where it needs to be. So what do I mean by finances under control? You need to know what it is that you make each and every single month, what your income is that you are bringing in, and then what you're spending. We need to pay close attention to that and make sure that we weigh out our debts. Now, me personally, when I first started budgeting, I did not like it. I thought I was budgeting. I just looked at the bills. I knew they were getting paid. Sometimes they didn't. It's like you never really want to delve into it. But when you start sitting down and actually looking at your actual budget, again, it's eye-opening. So first thing you want to do is look at how much money you make. Now, we all know that we're told an hourly or annual salary, but we need to know what actually comes on our pay stubs. The amount that we make as told by our employer, what you'll be making your annual salary or your hourly wage, that is what your gross income is. So that's if we're going to make $60,000 a year, we're making $15 an hour, working 40 hours a week, that sort of thing. We need to know what our income is. So at the end of the month, it's not just about what our gross income is, because we think we're making a whole lot of money, but when we get our paycheck, what happens? We don't see any of that. And that is sometimes why we struggle. We set ourselves up based off of what we think we're going to be bringing in, not taking into account any of the deductions that may be coming out of our paycheck. We've got taxes, insurance. It all seems like a good thing, but it does eat away at the money that you are expected to have. And so when you look at your budget, you want to totally base it off of what your net income is, because that is the number that you're actually dealing with. Even though we think we're making $2,000 a month or $2,000 a week, however much you make, if you think that you're bringing in even like $2,000 each paycheck, by the time you actually get your paycheck, you'll see that it's more like $1,500, $1,600, something like that, because there is money that's coming out of it. So when we look at the bills and how much we have to pay, we don't want to use that $2,000 number. We need to use that $1,500 number, because that's the amount of money that we actually have. So we want to go through, know what we make, know what we're bringing in, and don't ever in your life bank on money that you do not have. That could be the promise of a bonus, the promise of commission, the promise of whatever it may be. Even let's say you loan money to your friends or your family and they say that they're going to give it back. We don't want to bank on it, because at that instance, when we're reliant on it, that's where we fall. So we want to make sure that we're basing the money in our budget on exactly the amount of money that we have, not what we think we're going to have, not what we're hoping to get. So keep that in mind when you're going throughout your budget. You know your income. Next step you want to do is to take a look at all of your expenses. And I'm not talking about your debt yet. We're going to get into that too. But I mean like your monthly expenses. What are those things that every single month you have to pay for? Those are your fixed expenses. That could be, you know what your mortgage or your rent payment is going to be. You know what your insurance is going to be. These are all fixed expenses that are coming out. You know what your car note is going to be. Those will not change. A lot of times they have a certain time period on them attached. You may have a car note for 4 years or 3 years, but you know at the end of that it'll be paid off. Up to you whether you want to get another one or not. But we know what that monthly payment is. It's not going to change. So we want to make sure that we definitely account for those. Then we want to look at what our variable expenses could be. Now these are variable, means that the amount of money changes each and every single month, or it could change every single month. Could be without notice. You could notice it, but you do need to keep an eye on what those variable expenses could be. Variable expense would be your utility bills. The amounts can change, and so you're really guessing every single month to make sure that you have the right money to cover those bills. A way around that would be for you to look at your utility companies and see if they have budget plans where you can set up and you know exactly how much you're going to pay each and every single month. That helps you be steady as far as your expenses are concerned. Then after we look at our variable expenses, we've gotten our fixed expenses, then we want to think about those things, those bills that pop up every now and then that we may not have even noticed or that we forget about. One of the things that come to mind is like if you have your auto insurance and it's billed quarterly, it's not happening every single month. There are certain utility bills that are billed quarterly as well. And so it's like you're not thinking about that water bill because you don't see it every single month. But guess what? When it hits big and it attacks that pocket. So that's why you want to make sure that you're thinking about that too. So let's say you have a water bill that you know comes in every quarter, and you know that water bill is at least $200 or $300 every time you get it. What you can do, because you're not doing it every single month so that you're not struggling to get that, you can set up a certain amount every single month that you save in your savings account or whatever you use to save your money, and just put it there and keep that and build it up every single month, so that when that bill hits, you're not struggling trying to get that whole $200 or $300 at one time. You've saved up each and every single month to make it possible so that you're not stressed. And that's what this is about. Debt-free living, stress-free living, right? We want to make sure that your money is working for you. And by looking at budget plans and different ways that you can save towards those expenses, even those ones that we don't think about all the time, that's what's going to help. Now, when we look at also at those bills, the one thing that we want to think about too is what else are we shelling out each and every single month? For a lot of people, it could be credit cards, it could be installment loans, those types of things that we know we need to account for, because they're going to eat into our budget too. It takes away from our income where we are responsible for it, and we have to pay it. So how are we going to pay it? We want to do it responsibly, right? Now, I want you to keep this in mind. The credit card companies say that the best client that they can ever have is a client who will make their minimum payments, who may miss a payment every now and then they'll go back, make their minimum payment, they'll pay a late fee, could cause their account to go over limit, but they'll pay it right away, and then go back to making payments each and every single month. Credit card companies love that, because guess what? That's how they make money too. Not only are they making money off of the interest, they're making money off of the fees, and knowing that you will be making a payment each and every single month to them for years and years and years to come, which is why we're glad that there's help out there. There are counselors at Family Credit that can help you with that and get things in order, set up a repayment plan that will allow you to pay off your debt in record time based on what you're doing now. When you think about the way that you're paying your bills now, especially with the credit cards, if you're making the minimum payments on them right now, and that's all you're making, it could take you anywhere from 22 to 30 plus years to pay that debt off, just making the minimum payments. But each time when you're able to add some more money to that, on top of that, that cuts down your monthly payment. So think about that when you're looking at your credit cards and you're making that payment and you're thinking whether you should use it or not. You always want to make sure that you're keeping those accounts paid, and that if something happens, you were able to pay that monthly payment no matter what. We don't want you in debt. We don't want you to have those fees, right? So we'll go over another strategy with you in just a second. So we've talked about making sure that your budget is together. Now you also may want to think about exactly how much should go towards each and every single bill that I have. I know I make this money. Let's look at that $2,000, which really turns out to be $1,500. Look at that scenario again. When you're thinking about how much you should actually be paying out, there's a key or a way to set up a budget for you so that you know what's too much for each and every single expense. Typically, when you're thinking about where you want to live, your housing payments should be anywhere between 25 and 35% of what the amount of money that you're bringing in, what your income is each and every single month. So keep that in mind. If you are using that same $2,000 that you know that you make each and every single month, your mortgage or your housing payment shouldn't be any more than about $700 per month. That's what you can afford for housing. That's for your rent. That's for your utilities. So you want to make sure you set that guideline. So if you want to be able to put more towards your mortgage and you know you have a larger rent payment, what do you need to do? Look at how much you make and balance that out. Now, everything that I'm talking to you about is actually available on Family Credit's website in this course called Personal Finance Made Easy. It's a great way for you to set up your budget. It'll walk you through it. You can download the guide. You can take the course online and just see where you stand. But if you go here, there's also videos to help you set up your budget too. You can follow along with it. You can follow along with this guide and just go about making your budget and make it work for you. So we've talked about your income, we've talked about your expenses, and now the key thing that we need to talk about that not a lot of people mention is saving. Yes, after you've paid your expenses out of the income that you've made, we hope that you have some money left over. I hope you have some money left over, no matter what it is. It counts and it helps. Now, the problem with that, a lot of times we have money left over, we want to spend it. We want to go do something nice for ourselves. We want to go take our family out. We want to even just work on making ends meet. But what we should be doing is saving it to make those ends meet, not taking pleasure right now. There are certain things that you can do, but try not to do it too often. You want to look and see how much possible you can actually save. Great rule of thumb is that every time you get paid, take at least 10 to 20% of your paycheck and put that in a separate savings account. Don't think about it, just keep it there. So when you have that money and you're saving it each and every single month, and by the end of the year, you should have a nice amount to save with. Sometimes that's hard though, but if you can discipline yourself to do that without even thinking about it, your bills, just take the money out on top and have it go somewhere else. Or if you are the type of person where you like to have things in your hand, you can pull just that amount of money out of the ATM and just use what's left in your bank account to manage your other budget. But you're saving this money and you're saving it for you. With that money, you can put it in another account, you can put it away, or you can invest it and watch it grow. But that's totally up to you again on which direction that you take for that. You do need to make sure that no matter what, you remember yourself first and you remember to pay yourself. That's what this 10 to 20% savings will do. It will allow you the opportunity to actually put something aside. In order to survive right now, it's been said that you need to have at least 6 months worth of whatever it is that you make set up in a savings account in case something were to go wrong. And we want to make sure that you have that emergency savings, that you have that cushion. And to get to a large amount or a nice amount saved, it just takes starting right here today. And you may say, hey, 10% is way too much for me. I can't do that. That 20% is out of the picture. But even if you start with just $5 every time you get paid, and maybe as you do this, you can add to it. And you'll see that, okay, I have $5 now. I get paid in 2 weeks. I'll put another $5 to that. That's $10. That's $10 more than you had before. And you can add to that. Maybe next month you'll have a goal and try and do 7. Add 7 each time until you get up to 10, until you get up to that 10 and 20% that we've originally talked about. That's the way to set yourself up so that you are financially stable. Then after we've done all of that, this is what I want you to do. I want you to realistically take a look at what we call money wasters. Those wallet busters that come out that we don't even know about, that we're not thinking about, but hey, we've got a little money in our pocket. We want to go to the restaurant. We want to go out. We want to buy that shirt. We want to buy a new dress, boots. Right now, sales are crazy. Black Friday is coming up and people are looking for you to spend money, but you don't have to. You don't have to. You can save that money. You can look at what you're having, look at what you're doing, look at what, when you go out, how much you spend, how much of that is actually needed. Even if you wanted to get something to eat, is there a way to save even more? Right now, it costs a lot just to eat out. But what are some things that you can do to even save with that? So think about those things that you're doing. You can even talk to your family about it. You can look at other ways to save. And think about those things. One of the things that I did when my children were younger is that they always wanted McDonald's. They wanted to go to McDonald's and they wanted me to take them to McDonald's. And they got tired of me cooking all the time, but this to them was a treat. And what I noticed is that whenever I would get McDonald's, grab the Happy Meal, which is like $1 million now, but you buy that Happy Meal for your kids, it comes with a little toy, and they're left with the burger, fries, and drink. But guess what? A lot of times I noticed that they weren't even touching the food because they were so fascinated by the toy. So what I started doing was I told, hey, if you want McDonald's, yes, we can go, but we're not getting the Happy Meal. We're going to get the regular meal. We're going to eat off of the dollar menu or the low price menu. So if you want a burger, you can tell me what you want. If you want fries, you can get that. And I noticed that they stopped asking for it. because they weren't able to get that little toy that they wanted. Now, for that same price, they can take their own money, whatever they get, whatever they're saving with their allowance, and then they can go and buy a better toy at a regular store than what the fast food outlets had to offer. So you want to think about those things. It may not be right in your face, you may not come across it, but even just stopping to think, what are those things that I do that waste some money? You know me, I love coffee. I love Starbucks, Pete's, wherever you're gonna go, I need coffee. That's what I wanted. But I also noticed that it costs maybe about $8 to get a cup specialized that you really want and enjoy, right? That's a lot of money. $8 a day, 5 days a week, or even 7 days a week. $40 each time or more per week just on coffee that will disappear in 2 seconds. So what I noticed is that instead of me spending that $40 per week, that extra $120 per month that could go towards my bills or even better, my savings, what I did was invested in a nice coffee maker, a nice Keurig maker where I can make that coffee at home the way that I want and save so much more money. Now, 30 cents a cup as opposed to $8. So these are things that you can do to actually even make your budget look better, to save some money. There's so many different ways out there. Family Credit's website, 100 Small Ways to Save Big. It's got all those great tips, even some of these that I've just shared with you right now. And you can go through this guide and mark off what you will and won't do, and just get back to looking for different ways that you can save. There's different websites that you can use to control your spending, or even if you are looking at spending something on a big ticket item. I always look that information up, whatever item that I want, see where I can find it cheaper, or see who's giving me the best deal, or even look at some refurbished items that may come with a warranty. How cool is that? We are able to save money. We don't have to go out and get the most expensive things, and we can allow ourselves to save for better, save for that where we can get the most expensive things later on in life because we've saved now. Now, saving takes discipline. It really does, because every time you walk out the house, there's different things in your face. There's different opportunities, different ways for you to leak money throughout the streets as you go throughout the day. Even while we're stuck in our houses, while we're stuck at home, there's different pop-up ads, there's advertisements all around, different commercials when we're watching TV, when we're streaming. There's ways that they're trying to drain our pockets, but you want to make sure that you have a handle on it and say, yes, I see that, but I'm going to save for it. When I can pay full price for it, then it'll be mine. So think about that. Think as you go throughout your budget. We've talked about budgeting for a little bit. I want you to be aware, because it is holiday season. There's those things out there. So you want to make sure that you even look at your budget and see each and every single month something that you could be saving for is for the holidays. Start off even right now, taking a few extra dollars right now. If you take $20 per month and you put that up for 12 months or 10 months or 11 months, whenever you want to feel like you need to do your holiday shopping, you'll have that money set up in a holiday account. Now, sometimes there's a lot of banks and credit unions that will offer special perks for holiday savings as well. And I know they have some out there for kids too. So you can make it fun. You can make it a family thing. You can save for whatever you want. But it's about getting control of that financing, about that, controlling that spending right now, and planning for the future. One of the things that I am real big on is making memories as well. And I feel like it's cheaper to make a memory than to go out and buy something. So what are some ways that you can do that as well? So there's some things that you can do with your family, investing in a game night or some board games, bringing families closer together to do things like that, versus actually just buying a high-priced video game where everyone is sitting around on their own or their own computers, their phones, and no one's communicating. So these are ways that we can get back to savings, to cutting our spending, to investing more in ourselves and our futures, and getting rid of those wallet busters and time wasters and money wasters that are out there. So think about that as you go throughout the holiday season. One thing though that I do want you to remember and always pay attention to is your credit score. That's the next part of financial freedom. So we've got our budget under control. We need to know what our credit is. I see so many people out there that say, hey, I don't want to buy anything on credit. I've prided myself years and years. I've never used credit. And so I have a good credit score. But in all actuality, you don't have a credit score. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. Yes, you do not have any debt, but what's happened is by you not having a credit score, you don't have access to credit when you need it. Anything can happen, but you do want to make sure that you still maintain credit and have a credit score. So you do need to do what you need to do to get a credit card or get some credit established. You can do that by applying for an auto loan if you don't want to do a credit card. You can do credit cards. You can do different store accounts. There are other revolving accounts out there. But for a lot of the bigger ticket items that we all look forward to, as far as buying a home or even buying an automobile, you won't be able to do it if you don't have credit. And we need your credit to be stellar. So that's why you do want to look at, if I don't have credit, what can I do to get it? Even though it's been years and years and I've never used credit cards, you still need to establish credit. Just use the credit responsibly, meaning if you know you don't want to use credit, don't use it. But do what you have to do to open the account, to maintain it, making your minimum payments, maybe use just a little bit. If you got a $500 credit limit, maybe use $10 every now and then so that your creditors know you still want the account and you want the account to remain open. There's some creditors out there, some credit card companies, that if you don't use their card, they feel you don't want it, and so they'll close out the account on their own and you don't even know it. That's why you do want to make sure you've got that account, you're keeping it responsibly, and you're making your payments on it. The next thing with handling those credit cards, make sure it does not spiral and get out of control. You do want to make your minimum payments. You want to make sure that you're staying under those credit limits, whatever your credit limit may be. Now, if you've got a $500 credit card, you should never plan on using any more than $250 of that credit card if you've got a $500 credit card. Now, a lot of times the creditors will say that they'll see you as being desperate in credit situations anytime you go over your credit limit. So that's a black mark on your credit report that you don't need. If you stay under that credit limit, you don't have to worry about it. If you do use that card, make a plan to pay it off as quickly as possible or pay it down as quickly as possible. You want to stay under that half mark on the credit limit. And if you can go even lower than that, that would be so much better for you. If you stay or keep your debts below 30% usage, meaning if you've got a $1,000 credit card, you never want to use any more than $300 before you're paying that back. That's going to keep your score in perfect condition so that you will get the best financing options. You'll get those 0% options or those low down payment options for a car or low interest rate options. And you'll qualify for the best mortgage loans out there as well. All of those things you need to think about because credit helps you get to where you need to be. Also, we know that our credit score ranges anywhere from 350 to 850. We want to be on the higher end. We want to have a high credit score. Doesn't it sound better to have a 700 credit score versus a 580? We want to make sure that you do what you need to do to keep your score as high as possible. There's some great tips out there. There's some counselors that are available that can help you with that. And there's some ways for you to get your financing in order. So please feel free to reach out to a counselor at Family Credit Counseling. Again, familycredit.org. And the number is 800-994-3328. So we want to make sure that you're keeping your score where it needs to be, under half the credit limits, 30% if possible, making your minimum payments on time, making things look good. Look out for collection bills, any collection bills that are coming your way. If you've got those medical bills you know you can't pay, do inquire about some assistance for those. All billing departments can help you with that. If you're going to a hospital or a doctor's office, call them and see what they can do to help you as well. You want to make sure that those do not get reported to your credit bureau. And as soon as something hits your credit bureau, the sooner you can take care of it, the better. Because your score looks at the last 24 months worth of history. Only the recent information is what matters when you're thinking about your credit score. So if you've done something from 5 years ago, not a worry. 10 years ago shouldn't even be on your credit report, shouldn't even be affecting you. But those things that just happened this month, that's going to really knock your score down. So if you get a bill, you want to work on ways to pay it off, and maybe even see if that creditor is willing to remove it from your credit report. You got the power to do it on your own. You don't need anyone else to help you through it. You just need to be able to do it on your own. Reach out to those resources. Counselors at Family Credit can help you with that. Again, 800-994-3328. Always on standby to help you with your finances. Reach out, get the resources that can help you. They deal with credit card companies all the time. They can tell you which ones are more likely to work with you, which ones will have your back, which ones you should stay away from. Of course, it's all based on your individual situation, because everyone's situation is different. So this holiday season, remember, keep your finances in order. Even though we're out there, we're thinking about our families, friends getting together, what gifts we should buy. Do it responsibly. Keep your finances in control, and make sure that at the end of this, you are able to have some money left over in your budget so that you can invest in your own future. And that's what we want you to do. Be financially fit, stress-free living, debt-free living, financially fit, and being able to invest in you. We'll talk about that another time too. So if you've got any other questions, feel free to reach out. As always, visit Family Credit's website. Ask any questions that you may have pertaining to finance. Okay, and we will see you again soon. Take care.